Hey, well, this is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. God bless for those tuning in. God bless for those tuning in, and thank you for tuning in. Well, today I want to discuss approaching situation and approaching just how to solve disagreements, how to talk about disagreements, how to approach disagreements in a tactful manner. Not getting so excited over situations that can be solved, but also it's all about the approach, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to scream and carry on at somebody. Let's say, for example, your kid or your children. You raise your voice sometimes. That happens to adults when you're parents. But sometimes, do you know, sometimes when you speak with authority and look at them straight in the eyes, that's more effective than screaming and shouting at them and getting yourself all stressed out and pulling out your hairs. But I have no hair. I can't, but sometimes it's all about the approach. It's all about the approach. And for example, now, let's get into the adult mode now. For example, you're on the line, waiting on the line to cash out, and somebody didn't realize and they cut you, but before you can even say, "Excuse me, I'm standing there," you shout at them, but didn't realize you were standing there. And because you scream at them, now they shout right back at you. And we know that arguments can turn into, instead of a verbal confrontation, can turn into a physical confrontation. You can get hurt, that person can get hurt, or even you can lose your life, or that person can lose their life, or you both go to jail. It's all about the approach. All about the approach when it comes to solving a problem, a discussion, maybe having a discussion that you disagree with, and screaming at somebody doesn't solve the problem. Screaming and shouting and stressing yourself out, that never solves this problem. It only makes the problem bigger. It only makes the problem even bigger. So instead of screaming, the answer is not always screaming and shouting to get your point across, because you stress yourself out. For example, you ever seen situations where that happened to me before, where a person is screaming and shouting at you. They're shouting, or you see somebody else getting yelled at by that person, and then the person just totally ignoring them. The person shouting looks like a fool. The person screaming at them looks like a fool. The person shouting at them looks like a fool. You know why? Because the person that's not doing the shouting is preserving their energy, and they already won. They're preserving their energy, and they don't have time to waste with you that's looking like a fool. They're the bigger person. Because they don't stress, they don't have time to waste with you. They have bigger things to do. Or let's say you're at a restaurant, sitting down at a restaurant, and the person and the waitress brings out the wrong order. And that happens at restaurants sometimes. The waitress brings out the wrong order. And you scream and shout at the waitress before you can even say, "Well, okay, this is the wrong order." Instead of you, with a calming manner, saying this is the wrong order you bring out, the wrong food you bring out, you scream and shout at the waitress. And you have the nerve to sit right there and eat. And then when the waitress finally brings out the food, you can still eat their food. Does that make any sense? Them contaminating your food because you scream, you're shouting and screaming at them. Doesn't make any sense, folks. So before you approach any situation, always approach it in a calmly manner. I've seen people do this too, even in minor car accidents, screaming and shouting in each other's face. A minor accident, may I remind you, You're screaming and shouting in each other's face, and then it escalates. It went into a shouting match, then it escalates. You either one, and because it's a shouting match, it turns into a physical confrontation, and then you both go to jail. Is it worth it? Or supervisors, before you're shouting at your employees, why? You put your pants on the same way I put my pants on. No need to scream and shout. Before you can even dissect the matter and approach it in a calmly manner and find out why the situation happened, you're screaming and shouting. Screaming and shouting before you can even dissect it. Well, the Bible says, if you don't show how you, when mercy has come to you, when there's time for you to get mercy, the Bible says you reap what you sow. When it comes to you getting mercy, and you're not showing that person no mercy, there's a day and a time is going to come when no mercy is going to be showed upon you. Folks, we got to learn, some of us have to learn how to approach situations in a calmly manner. Shouting and screaming never solves the problem. And this goes for spouse too, spousal relationships, husband and wife and husband. You're in a situation and let's say for example, and your wife gets excited and starts shouting and screaming at you. You made a little mistake. And because you made a little mistake, because she's shouting and screaming at you, it gets you upset, so you wind up screaming back at her. Now, do unto others. The golden rule is do unto others as you want them to do to you. Before you can, when you approach a situation, don't be so quick to scream and shout. Find out why it's happening. Try to understand why that happened, or maybe try to say, okay, it was a mistake. Because when it's gonna come time for you for somebody to show mercy on you, it's not gonna happen. Or husband screaming and shouting because your wife made a little mistake. There's no need for you to get excited. There's no need for that. It's all about the approach. Or for example, you get in service, or you're trying to get into something that can give you good service. And before you can understand it and understand why this thing is taking so long to come, or why the service is not working, you screaming and shouting at the person on the phone. And why this happened, blah, 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 blah. That's not solving it. By you screaming and shouting, you're stressing yourself out. That is not solving the problem. Because that person's going to turn around and shout right back at you. Or they shout right back at you. Or an argument can escalate into something of a point of no return, where you both go to jail if you're in the streets. Are you screaming and shouting? It's not solving the problem. It can turn into something, and then you wind up both police is being called, and then next thing you know, you're both gonna get locked up because one person, you're out of control. The Bible talks about self-control. Because you have no self-control, you're quick to scream and jump down somebody's throat over something simple. I know I'm speaking to somebody today. So always, before you approach a situation, don't be so quick to jump and scream at somebody. Give yourself a deep breath. A deep breath, and approach the situation in a calmly manner. Because screaming and shouting is not worth your stress on your body. It's not worth you losing control. It's not worth you going to jail. It's not worth you losing your life, or just you worth yourself getting hurt. So always try to, before you scream and shout, always approach somebody in a calmly manner. Yes, things happen. Problems do occur. But shouting and screaming never solves a problem. It only stirs up a problem. And this goes for supervisors. This goes for couples. This goes for teenagers. This goes for everyone that shouts and screams and get excited before approaching the situation in a calmly manner. Well, the live word of the day is coming out of Proverbs 15 verses 1. A soft answer turns away wrath, but harsh words stirs up anger. Well, this is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. God bless and be safe out there. Blessings. And if you like this content, hit the subscribe on the YouTube channel. And if you like this content also on Facebook, hit the like button and get the viewership up also. And if you like this on YouTube, I would appreciate it if you hit the like button. This is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. God bless and be safe. Blessings.